All right, my beautiful ladies. Happy Monday. Happy June 20th. I cannot believe, hey, first day of summer, actually. So hopefully it is warm where you guys are at. If not, come to Southern Utah or Northern Utah or wherever. It's beautiful.
Or Houston.
Or Houston. Oh my gosh, humidity. That's all we need to say about that, right? I'm actually heading down to Vegas this weekend. I'm doing a diamond retreat down there and encompassing a vacation on top of it. And it's supposed to be like 119 is all. Chump change, right? Oh my gosh. I'm like, how did I grow up in Southern Utah? It's so hot. But with that being said, I wanted to get you ladies on a call today about expectations, because I think this is one thing, when we look at our overall business, and especially our new coaches, we're so fearful of when we first start this business of setting high expectations. We're fearful of, what are they going to think about us? What if they don't, follow through with it? What if they think it's too scary and they don't go for it? But as you all know, 5-star diamonds, right? And all of you are actually elite coaches, is if you set the expectation correctly, it means you're setting them up for success. If you don't give them high enough expectations, you're actually setting them up for failure. So hopefully you have kind of seen that with your team. The hardest conversation you ladies probably have ever had is going back to your existing team that you didn't have the high expectations with and trying to recreate that. But the beautiful thing is you're at a point right now where you're constantly recruiting, you're getting new coaches, and you are setting up great expectations. So with that being said, first and foremost, I want to ask you ladies, what is, and please unmute yourself, please mingle, but what is an expectation that you set from the very beginning with your brand new coaches? Ready? Go.
Go Emerald.
Okay, go Emerald. Like it, love it. Okay. Christy, what about you?
In the first month, definitely definitely to go Emerald and to hit Success Club. And I break it down very simple because let's face it, if they sign up 2 people with challenge packs, they're at Success Club 4, and then they just have to find that one other person. Then they have a whole month to hit, to be planning to hit Success Club in month 2, and so they get off to a great start. So I definitely start them off, as Emerald in the first 30 days.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. Julia, what about you? What's a good expectation, or what's an expectation that you set with your winning coaches?
Obviously that's the goal. Me is either honestly, Success Club is a higher priority, just even if they can get challengers or say discount coaches. I think so much of the expectation I find is like, it's not even the first month. Like, it's like setting up the mindset that they're going to be in this for a long time and that it's not going to be easy. And I feel like the more, when I do that on a getting started right call, the more I reiterate, like, not to say like this is going to be hard, but it's like this is going to feel like a lot of work at the beginning and it's not going to produce all these crazy cool results. Like, the more I can talk them through that and say like, are you prepared for that? Are you okay to work knowing this is a long-term thing? I think that's been like the biggest thing, because it takes the pressure off, because I think that's the number one reason people quit is because somehow their expectation wasn't met. And that doesn't necessarily mean anyone's doing a bad job. It just wasn't laid out. So I think like, obviously Success Club and Emerald, but I think like big picture for me has really helped to say, look, like this is not going to be like a cakewalk, but by doing these small, like hitting Success Club, by doing those, you get some small wins. But like big picture, I think really helps for me. And I feel like it takes me off the hook as a leader because I've told them like they can't expect that they're going to be millionaires in 6 months. Because I go back and say, like, it's going to take you 5 years. Like, this is what it's going to look like. So I don't know if that answers, but went off on a little bit of a tangent. But
no, it's perfect. And you said something beautifully. You said to create in the right mindset. And it just made me think of telling your coaches, be here within a year, right? You all have said it. We all say it when we're going out and delivering messages, but it truly is about that. So I love that you said that. Carrie, Kim, Shelly, is there anything that you ladies want to add? So basically we're talking about expectations here. What is one expectation that you set with your coaches that is the most important when they first get signed up with you? Ready, go.
I'll go.
Perfect.
So talking to people, how many people they're going to need to talk to in order to get a yes, and to understand that, you can't invite 10 people and expect to fill up your challenge group, because you'll get 3 or 4 yeses out of that. So helping them understand the logistics, the numbers. They have to talk to a lot of people and get through a lot of no's, and they have to be okay with that because that's the nature of this business. And that's what's going to keep them in the business, to understand that.
So true. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Carrie, Kim, what about you ladies? What's one thing that you set up right from the get-go with your coaches?
Okay. I'm my brain's trying to turn on. I would say one thing is that the long-term success is going to come as they build their team. And so the front end will be challenge packs in retail. The long term is going to be that team building aspect, that is that transition from not just making Success Club, but helping your coaches make Success Club. And to know that that's when they begin to experience that reoccurring revenue and that team cycle bonus paycheck every week that is going to give them that life that they are wanting to create for their family. So I want them to have that, like, right, as that forefront of goal, so that they don't just stop at the challenge packs and the Success Club, that they're actually thinking, okay, but I need to build my team. And then I'm trying to also transition the team into, really taking and embracing this going Emerald group that we did. I'm going to double up here in a second.
You're fine. I'm going to mute whoever's not talking.
Yeah, I need to mute myself over here.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Did that work?
Maybe not.
Hold on. Let me mute it.
It's probably because you have both accounts. Can you close your one from your phone or one from your computer?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, did that mute it? Or did that work?
Yeah, that worked. You're not echoing.
Okay. Yeah, my computer was taking too long to get plugged in, or to turn on. So yeah, so that's basically what I'm trying to get the coaches going with from the get-go when they first start.
I love it. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that long-term vision of what it's going to be at first, but then when what happens when it duplicates and how this actually becomes a business. So I love that, Kim. Carrie, girlfriend, go.
Well, to be honest, I didn't do a great job of setting expectations for a very long time, so I'm working on it. But recently, which is kind of working out well, I adopted this from a Shelley Hobbs video. I think you shared it with me. But anyway, she talks about actually her team having the 5 vital behaviors, and I actually picked this up because I love it. And it's like 1, obviously personal development is super important. So I obviously set that expectation, being a product of the product. But then there's 3 others that I think are really cool. The first one is add people to your network every single day, because I feel like sometimes it's like a huge missing part. Like, people do so well for so long with their warm market, and then all of a sudden it's like they totally have to go outside of their cold market. They don't know how to connect with strangers, and they just wait too long, which is what I did. So adding people to your network every single day, and then I say connecting and inviting every single day, and then 2 to 3 posts minimum a day. But if it only can be 2 to 3, they have to be high quality posts versus 3 to 5 just like whatever posts, So and I kind of give them like a sheet of how to do this within an hour a day, and I'm just like, set that expectation. Like, if you don't do this, you probably won't be successful. So can you? Are you willing to? So I don't know. Seems to be working out so well.
Absolutely. Love that. Love that you put that tool into action, because that is so critical. And if you set that up strong right now, that will duplicate. So very, very cool. Allie is here. Are you good to talk, girlfriend? Are you baby free?
No, we're here.
Oh, you're good. I just don't want you to get pulled in 8 million directions. Do you have any expectations that are super strong that you pushed out with your team right from the get-go right now that has set them up for success?
Recently, in the past couple months, coach trainings, I try to emphasize making them advocates for their own business. So like, I always tell them, like, I'm going to give you guys a great guideline of where to take your business and a great basis to build it. But if you want more information on inviting, don't rely on me to give it to you. If you want more information on follow-ups, don't rely on me to give it to you. Take what you know, and then you need to go search. You need to go find it. And I think back to like whenever I was a brand new coaching, I would spend lots of time researching different topics. Like when I was working for the next, benchmark of my business, and I wanted to get to Diamond, how do we get working coaches? I was on YouTube researching how these top coaches got coaches onto their team and attracted coaches. So I try to emphasize to them, like, I'm giving you what to research, and now it's up to you to go and research it farther, to try to empower them right away instead of enable them.
Okay. I hope you ladies took a lot of notes on that. Those are amazing, amazing expectations. But let me ask you a question. How many of you had those expectations for your coaches when you first started your business? Right? One of those things that comes when you become seasoned, right? So I think we need to kind of just really experience or really kind of think through how can we create this within our team. Obviously, by now having by having that foundation of what expectations look like, yes, sharing what those are, setting up the benchmark exactly what it may be. Just remember that 98% of people have to be told what to do, how to do, when to do it every single second. So if you say, okay, get to Emerald, they'll get to Emerald. If you say get to Diamond, they'll get to Diamond. But if you don't set up the bigger vision of what this business is, they may stop. Because like I said, they typically do. Let's be honest. The amount of diamonds that never progressed to star diamond status is because they truly got to their benchmark. They stopped, they celebrated, and we naturally thought that the process would take place and they would naturally want to go for 2-star diamond premier. Okay? It's not what happens. Most of the time is coaches do not surpass diamond rank because they have not had enough wins, enough of the small wins. And I loved, somebody said that and I wrote it down. But anyways, the small wins are going to be the most critical, obviously, within their business. And so it's celebrating every single milestone along the way. But I want to challenge you, ladies, something. And because these are all amazing expectations. And I know you go forward with your coaches now and you say all these things. But how can we duplicate this? How can we duplicate it? From here forward, you're always talking about the bigger picture, about the star diamond approach, about, like, literally, if I was going to sign Christy, I would say, okay, Christy, girlfriend, first and foremost, so super excited for you. We're going to get you to Emerald, not a problem. Diamond, 30, 60 days. And from there, we're working towards star diamond, specifically 2-star diamond, and this is why. Okay? And I say that because if you set those expectations high, first and foremost, you will have runners that will say, got it. What do I need to do? How do I get there? Let's go. If the expectation is too strong and you have this coach that says they want to work the business, like we do every single month, and typically I ask how many coaches do we recruit, and you say 5, and I said, how many of them are working? 2. Okay, so there's a disconnect there. And typically it will come through the expectations of how you'll know your number or your ratio of who you're recruiting that is actually going to work the business. So literally, if I said those expectations strong and they said, I don't know. I don't know about posting 3 to 5 times a day. I don't know about personal development. I don't know about this. You meet them where they're at. And as hard as that may be for you, you can say, you know what? It sounds like you may just want to get your products paid for. Let me show you how to do that. Or it's not, because at this point you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time, right? So tell me, if you went through and taught your coaches this process, do you think it would be successful? Do you think? Or do you feel like it would come off a little too strong? What are your thoughts? Talk to me.
I think yes, but I think only if you know their why, if their why is strong enough. Because if they don't have a why,
totally,
you saying you should be diamond in 30 days, they're going to be like, screw you. Why are you telling me what to do? I think that you have to earn that trust where you can say, here's what you do. Like, I think those first, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if do you go that far at the beginning? Because obviously you want to paint the vision, but like my instinct is like, okay, do you set the first goal, like Success Club Emerald, and like the bigger vision, like what do you want for your life, but then not, I don't know. Because like if you say, oh, and then diamond in 30 days, and like it might for me, I think it would come across pushy unless I found a better way to do it, unless someone was like, this is it's just so rare that someone, like I know even for me when I started, like I wanted to do it, but the business is so abstract until you start to really learn what the vision is that like it kind of like chunking it in smaller steps shows smaller success, but I might be totally wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but I love that you brought that up because you're the first person who's ever actually brought that up to me. And I love that you say that because you're absolutely right. You have to build the trust with them. The problem, I think the disconnect that we truly have is when we sign these new coaches or these new challengers that eventually want to work the business is that we don't show them what the bigger picture is. And literally we don't set the expectation high enough. And so literally they hit it and then they never progress because they hit that milestone and they stopped and celebrated. So, but I love that you brought that up. So how would you gain that trust? Miss Julia? Give me
I
a-
mean, I think you've got to just be invested in their goals and meet them. Like you said, you have to meet them where they are. And that's like the lesson I think we learn every single day. Every hour, I'm constantly learning like how to love people where they are and not push them for my goals. And like, that's the hardest thing, but it's like taking real, like slowing down a little and like really figuring out what they want. Because they'll say key pieces of, oh, I would love to quit my job, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they get that. I think that's where I struggle is like I have people that say, oh, I'd love to be home with my kids. And so I take that as like, oh, they understand the vision and they want to do this. And then I see a post that they're going back to school to do something. And I'm like, wait, that doesn't. So I don't know if I'm the best person to answer that because I find a disconnect because I'll hold on to something someone says, but then it doesn't line up. So somehow they're not, I think they see the big picture, but I think until they see the small successes, they don't. Does that make sense?
No, I love it. And I love the fact that you brought that up because it's so beyond true. So I think it's a combination of both. It's their why, but most people don't know their why until they get the small successes. And that's the hardest part is we talk about this big elaborate thing and they're like, you guys have probably heard me this example. I want a yacht and I want, it's like all these things that just, you'll go to sleep and not worry about it. Right. But if you have a why or a negative why, like what I used to use with my weight loss clients, and I literally say, okay, what is your negative why? And in that field, it was like, I never want my child to feel the way that I felt. I never want them to be the fat kid. It was all these things that would really bring them to tears. But in this business, it really comes down to, I never want to be the mom that isn't there for my child's sports. I want to be the one that is able to pick them up off the bus stop. I'm the one, it's those things. It's those things that make them want to get up with a pep in their step and conquer the day. So I think it's, it is a combination of the why, but it's literally painting that picture and saying, okay, if this is what you want and we need to align this is what it's going to take. So Julia, thank you so much for bringing that up. I want Christy to elaborate on this because I know she's dug deep into these expectations. She even has a team call on this tonight. So tell me, girlfriend, what are your thoughts? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, okay. I said, I'm the bold, pushy coach when it comes to this. But
You're good.
yeah. But actually when I'm like introducing the business to the coaches up front, before I sign up any coach, I talk to them and find out what they want out of the business before I even sign them up, to know kind of what they want out of the business, to find out which group I'm going to put them in, whether they're strictly discount, which, as you know, I don't actually sign up discount coaches. I don't go after discount coaches. So I usually don't have any discount coaches. Sometimes I'll end up with hobby coaches or business builders, but I rarely have discount coaches. So I would say 75% of my coaches go Emerald within the first month. And so I tell them exactly how to do that. And then if they don't do that, I can tell there's usually a reason why. Either they don't want to work the business, they don't know what to do. There's some disconnect of why they didn't want to do it. It means they're not all in my opinion, if they don't go Emerald right away. So then at that point, I tell them step by step how to get to Diamond. I have them in a group with people that have the same goals, and I tell them every day what they should be doing every day. Okay, here's your to-do list, and this is why you need to do this today. Check in when you're done with this list of things to do. And basically, and I have a team call with them every Monday, and I'm going over every single Monday what they should be doing, the expectations. And these are all coaches that have told me they're all in. They want to make money in this business. So I'm telling them along the way, like, when I went Emerald, this was the difference in my income. So this is why you will want to go Emerald. So then when they're Emerald, I tell them, when I went Diamond, this was the difference in my income. This is why you want to go Diamond, And so I kind of lead them that way. And then once they hit Diamond, they go in a different group. And then I have a call with all my diamonds, and my diamonds don't stay diamond long because I'm setting the expectation for 2-star. I say, honestly, when you're diamond, you don't make that much more money. It's like a stepping stone. It's a huge celebration, and it actually makes it easier to recruit when you're diamond because people take you seriously, but you don't make that much more money when you're diamond. Let's get you to 2-star where you get the bonus and you start making money. And I show them where my income was a 2-star. And then, I rally them up and we set the 2-star goal. And then I set and as you know, I have 3 or 4 coaches that will probably end up 5-star. And, I've shown them my income at 5-star. And income really motivates my coaches. So them seeing that, and I don't ever post that on social media. Like, I'm not posting my income. I'm just telling my coaches. So I think setting them up that way has really helped me, like grouping them together, kind of where they're at in the same place and pushing them along together. That's what I do, at least. And that seems to work for me. And, I have some coaches that can't work that way, and that's fine. I still support them, and I check in with them once a month and make sure they're okay, but I want business builders. And, I support my other coaches. I still love them and I still, support them or whatever, but, they're not in these calls and in these groups. So.
Thank you for sharing. I love the fact that you go step by step. So diamonds celebrate, big celebration, but we don't stop here. And then showing the income, that is huge. Even though people may not be, maybe they're pearls and they just really, they don't like that stuff, they still want to know where they're at. I have plenty of coaches that when they do recognition, they show, off of the leadership ladder, they show what as far as their like week leg volume in their account, their spouse's account, their second CBC. So people get an idea. They want to be able to see exactly, if they're going to reach those benchmarks. And what would be super cool is if your coaches started bypassing your income at those certain levels. That'd be a huge celebration. Because we know
they are.
Yes. And that's a huge, if your coaches ever exceed you, that is the biggest compliment to you and your leadership style. So, but I love that. Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing that. What about you, Breezy, Allie? I'm like, Breezy, I thought you were frozen. You were just like stuck there, girl. Oh, writing notes. Okay. But Breezy, Allie, do you ladies have anything that you want to add on that? Anything that Breezy's like, I needed this call today. Girl, are you getting something from it?
Yes. And I guess like the only thing like I have been thinking this whole time is no matter how you present this to people, like I could have 2 coaches in front of me and obviously one of them's going to take off and one of them's not through whatever systems we present. But you have to be recruiting to fill this and to do this. And my recruiting has been in the tank this year. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I've got like 2 new builders and how am I going to implement some stuff? And I'm like, hey, you just got to keep recruiting, because if you don't, then it's like your systems start to fall flat. And I think that's kind of what I've found happen the last couple months is I have these, my new coaches, my GSRs, I have all these systems in place, but it's hard to work systems when you're not filling them with people. So there you go.
Amen. And you have always been a phenomenal recruiter. So if you go back to what made you so successful last year and just writing down those key things and just, dial back right into that, you'll be where you want to be. She is pregnant with her first baby girl. She has 2 little boys. So she has been in celebration mode, and I totally get it. But girl, you know what to do.
Yes.
Don't you fret. You're welcome, love. Anything else? Anything you ladies want to? Erin Boyer is actually a brand new 5-star diamond. So welcome to the group. Super excited for you. What's even more cool is she is a Utah native. She lives in Utah. And I love that. Anyways, Erin, we're talking about expectations here. And we've been talking a lot about the specific expectations you have set up for your coaches to make them successful within this business. Is there anything that you would like to share as far as that goes? Is there anything that you share with your coaches that is like, oh my gosh, this has worked. They get the big picture. They keep on going with it. Is there anything like that? And if not, what are your expectations? You're good. If there's an expectation you want to kind of throw out there that you set with your new coaches.
With my new coaches, I always tried to set the expectations of Success Club 5. And even if I don't call it out as Success Club 5, I say, you can help 3 people this month, right? You know, like that's what I expect you to do, as long as they're a building coach, of course. But I always try to talk them through that and let them know about success starters. And if they do that 3 months in a row, then they get a free ticket to Summit. You know, so all the things that they win, I think that definitely helps them, like an incentive, you know, helps them push a little bit more. I think that helps a lot. But, and I always try to, after a month or 2, I always try to get on the phone with them again and go over more long-term goals, not so much the short-term goals. So that first GSR is more about short-term goals. And then after they kind of get into the swing of things and kind of feel like they're doing okay, then that's when I get on the phone with them and say, all right, let's think of this a little more long-term. Where do you want to be by the end of the year? Where do you, you know, once they get their, little foundation, they don't feel like they're drinking from the water hose quite as much that first month or 2. So that's kind of how I started out. Yeah.
But I love the fact that in the very first go, because yes, I mean, this is not all about scaring them off, but if you talk about short-term goals, what that means, and then from there, you know, when they start to taste and see these small wins within the business, they're going to then have longer-term goals with it. So I love that you said that. So thank you. Putting you on the spot first thing. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Allie, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, I think it's important to just make sure you talk short-term goals with them, but then always just say, you know, this is it for now. Like, I think if you have that expectation, like always talking about the next thing. So like when you finish coach training, we'll transition you into this. And then whenever you finish, when you hit that success club, well, then we'll talk about the next step. I think as long as you always are talking about the next thing for them, they'll always be moving toward it. But I think when they first start, you just have to give them direction. You have to tell them what those goals are. And then you just, when you meet it, okay, let's talk about what's next. So, you know, just always constantly just moving them forward so they know what to expect next. I think that's important, is to always be talking in the future, not just, okay, let's hit Success Club, now we're done. Like, no, it's always moving forward.
Love it. And it's just assuming that they're going to be here, you know, just assuming that they're going to stick with the business, because you don't want them to ever have that fear obviously come into their mind and think, oh, I can't do this. But if they think, oh my gosh, my upline coach told me this is going to happen next, and they always have that game plan, that path to success, they'll stick on it. Thanks for saying that. That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Carrie, Kim, do you want to add anything to this? Kim, we can't hear you. It makes it really staticky. Mm-mm.
Can you hear?
Yes. Oh, it must be the Hawaii internet. Okay. Woo. Thank you. Okay.
What was the specific question, Brittany? I know we were talking initially about expectations.
Expectations? Yeah, what was the question? Happy Monday, guys. We were talking about expectations. We were talking about specifically what you do with your coaches to get them started to success. We were talking about, and then Christy gave us some good insight about going from step to step. Just anything else you want to add? How about that? Anything that you're wanting to eventually go with your new coaches? How about that? Anything that you have thought, okay, I need to get my coaches doing this, or?
Well, I definitely think what Allie just said, I just wrote that down because I think that's brilliant. Talking about those next steps, like always be talking about that next step. And as she was saying that, I was sitting here thinking like how many people I got to Diamond last year. And, you know, probably 3 months ago, I was like, all right, 2-star. But it's like, this needs to be a constant reminder. So, and why that's important. So I'm definitely gonna pick that up. Thank you, Allie. But I was gonna say, I know we only have a few minutes left.
You're good.
not necessarily something to add, but Breezy mentioned this, how recruiting has been in the tank. Mine has been really bad recently. And I don't know if we could plan another call to talk about recruiting strategies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry, that's not something to add, but
no, that's perfect. Because I love having a topic so that we all have something to look forward to and to bring our best practices to. Holy moly. Yes, we can definitely do that. Kim, I love that you've said, okay, so that you put them in a message thread. If you guys are not doing that, start doing it. Potting with SC, potting with, your new coaches that are getting started, whatever it may be. Get them somebody that is on the same level as them that they can celebrate with, that they can really confide in, that they can eventually maybe have a success partner, whatever it may be. Just build that they're not alone, that there's somebody else, because if you think about it, think back when you started out as a coach. That was a long time ago, right? And if you're starting to think of how you felt, you may have forgot how you felt, how nervous. Oh my gosh, I've never been on social media. I don't even have a Facebook account. Whatever. I mean, that's okay. That's not really. But maybe they just never really posted. Maybe there's only pictures of their children or whatever it may be. So it allows them to obviously not feel intimidated, because right now each of you are elusive clouds in the sky. They don't know how to get there. But every time that you progress, every time that you recruit and you add new coaches to your team page, that's when you're a leader and they will follow your lead. So if you feel like you're lacking in an area, get great in it, right? Because you want your coaches to be set up correctly. So Carrie, Breezy, you are both strong recruiters. You have always been strong recruiters. I know both of you very, very well. Just get back to what made you successful. And if it didn't, honestly, try it for the next 45 days. And if it doesn't work, try something new out of Summit. Okay? But try it out. I mean, it made you successful before. So it probably should do the same thing now. Julia, guys' call. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Will you share that within the group, actually, Julia? Perfect. But with that being said, ladies, we only have a couple minutes left. I just really want to, first and foremost, thank you again for, taking time out of your day. I always want you guys to get great information from these calls. And I also want to really challenge you to go out there and set up expectations with your coaches. Pretty simple for your new coaches because it's easy. You've gone down this path before, or maybe you're wanting to change them up within your business. The hardest part is going to your existing coaches that have gotten you to where you are at. But I promise you, if you teach them that this business is black and white, that they need to focus on the business activities if they want to advance their business, they will be so grateful and indebted to you. So my challenge to you is go to your existing coaches and see how they're doing. See if you need to set up new expectations to where they're at. Meet them where they're at. Never push them alongside of your goals if it's not what they want. But I also challenge you to express your goals with them. And I have a lot of coaches that say that's icky, and I get it. But if you start the conversation and say, hey, girlfriend, it's been a while since we chatted. What's she going after? What's going on with you? And you really get to, communicate with them and then eventually find out what their goals are and just say, oh my gosh, that is awesome. You want to work towards Star Diamond. I'm working towards leadership, or I'm working towards, 6-star diamond or whatever it may be. That's our goals are going to align perfectly. Let's do this together. Do you think that would be icky? I don't think so, right? They'd be really excited to be hand in hand with you. So from here, guys, just going to throw it out there. Go out there, set some expectations with your coaches, because I promise you they'll race to that bar. But if you don't set them up with great expectations, they will eventually quit because they don't know what they're going after. They're not the experts like all of you. Okay, and every single one of you is a phenomenal coach. I've worked hand in hand with every single one of you, and each of you are doing an incredible job. Once again, we have a little over 30 days until Summit. So put your blinders on, put your head down, and go to work. You can make big things happen in the next 30 days. If you need anything at all, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask. I do have to say, though, ladies, that I will actually I'm going to Vegas for a diamond retreat this weekend. I will not be back in the office till Tuesday, so we need to cancel next Mondays. And then the following Monday is 4th of July. Let me get this here. Yep, and then the following is 4th of July. So we will not meet again until the 11th. That will be 2 weeks before Summit. So we'll have the 11th and then we'll have the 18th. And Carrie, we will go over recruiting, okay? So we'll advertise, but just know the next 2 weeks. But does not mean that you don't show up on the 11th. Promise? Okay. Love it, ladies. Thank you so much for jumping on today. Is there anything else that anybody wants to say before I? No? Thank you so much for participating. You're welcome, Shelly. Okay, ladies, you all have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.